Raila Amolo Odinga is one of Kenya's most influential and enduring political figures, a man whose life story weaves through the nation's struggle for democracy, reform, and unity. Born on January 7, 1945, in Mosino, Kisumu County, Raila grew up surrounded by the ideals of freedom and leadership. His father, Jaramogi Oginga Odinga, served as Kenya's first vice president under President Jomo Kenyatta and was one of the most prominent independence leaders of his generation. Growing up under such a towering political figure shaped Raila's passion for justice and public service from a young age. Early life and education. Raila's childhood was marked by discipline, intellectual curiosity, and a sense of responsibility that came from being part of a well-known political family. He attended Kisumu Union Primary School and later Maranda Primary and High School, where he proved to be a bright student with a strong interest in science and mathematics. His father's belief in education as a vehicle for empowerment encouraged him to pursue studies beyond Kenya's borders. In 1962, Raila earned a scholarship to study in East Germany, at the time a socialist state. He first attended the Herder Institute to learn the German language, then proceeded to the Technical College of Magdeburg, now Otto von Guericke University, where he studied mechanical engineering and welding technology. His time in East Germany profoundly influenced his worldview, exposing him to ideas of social justice, equality, and economic planning, concepts that would later shape his political ideology. He graduated in 1970 and returned home ready to apply his skills and build a life rooted in both industry and service. Early career and entrepreneurship. Upon returning to Kenya, Raila joined the University of Nairobi as a lecturer in engineering before venturing into business. In 1971, he founded East African Spectre Ltd, a company that specialized in the manufacture of gas cylinders. The firm grew to become one of the few locally owned manufacturing companies in the energy sector, demonstrating Raila's entrepreneurial acumen and commitment to industrial growth. Later, in 1974, he joined the Kenya Bureau of Standards, KEBS, as the deputy director, where he played a crucial role in promoting quality control and standardization in local manufacturing. His technical background, business sense, and administrative experience positioned him as a well-rounded leader long before he entered the political arena. Entry into politics and detention years. Raila's political awakening coincided with a turbulent period in Kenya's post-independence history. His father, Jaramogi, had fallen out with President Jomo Kenyatta over ideological differences, leading to a widening rift between the ruling elite and reformist voices. Raila quietly supported his father's ideals of democracy and inclusivity. In 1982, Kenya was shaken by an attempted coup against President Daniel Arap Moi. Raila was accused of involvement in the plot and was arrested and detained without trial for 6 years. Those years were some of the darkest of his life, spent in isolation, cut off from his family, and subjected to harsh conditions. However, the experience deepened his resolve to fight for multi-party democracy. After his release in 1988, he was again detained for political activism in 1989 and 1990. In total, Raila spent nearly 8 years in detention, becoming one of Kenya's most prominent political prisoners. His courage during those years earned him admiration among Kenyans who longed for change. In 1991, after his final release, he fled into exile in Norway to escape government persecution, returning home only when Kenya lifted the ban on opposition politics. The rise of a political giant. In the early 1990s, as the one-party system crumbled, Raila joined the Forum for the Restoration of Democracy, FORD, a movement founded by his father and other pro-democracy leaders. Following Jaramogi's death in 1994, Raila inherited both his father's political mantle and his constituency's loyalty. He won the Lang'ata parliamentary seat in the 1992 elections, marking his official entry into elective politics. After internal wrangles split FORD, Raila founded the National Development Party, NDP, in 1997, through which he contested the presidency. Though he finished third, his party's growing popularity led to a merger with the ruling KANU party in 2001, where he was appointed Minister of Energy under President Moi. His tenure was marked by reforms in the energy sector, including the expansion of rural electrification and liberalization of fuel distribution. When Moi retired in 2002, Raila played a critical role in uniting opposition parties under the National Rainbow Coalition (NAC) that propelled Mwai Kibaki to the presidency. Raila became Minister for Roads, Public Works, and Housing in the new government. However, disagreements over constitutional reform led to a split between him and Kibaki in 2005. Raila then founded the Orange Democratic Movement, ODM, which became a formidable opposition force. The 2007 election and power sharing. The 2007 general election proved to be a defining chapter in Raila's career. Running on the ODM ticket against incumbent President Mwai Kibaki, Raila appeared poised for victory. However, the announcement of results sparked widespread controversy and allegations of vote rigging. The ensuing violence left over 1,000 people dead and hundreds of thousands displaced. Restore Peace, international mediators led by Kofi Annan brokered a power-sharing agreement in 2008. Under the deal, Kibaki remained president while Raila assumed the newly created role of prime minister. During his 5-year tenure, Raila championed major infrastructure projects, transparency in governance, and constitutional reform. His efforts culminated in the adoption of the 2010 Constitution, which introduced devolution and expanded citizens' rights. Later presidential bids and continued influence. Raila contested the presidency again in 2013, 2017, and 2022, each time coming second. In 2017, after a disputed vote, the Supreme Court annulled the results, the first such decision in Africa, ordering a repeat election. Odinga withdrew from the rerun, citing lack of electoral reforms. In 2018, he surprised the nation by shaking hands with President Uhuru Kenyatta in a public gesture of reconciliation known as the handshake. This political truce ended years of rivalry and ushered in the Building Bridges Initiative, BBI, aimed at addressing ethnic divisions and governance issues. Raila's alliance with Kenyatta later evolved into the Azimio la Umoja coalition, under which he contested the 2022 presidential election alongside running mate Martha Karua. Although he lost to William Ruto, he accepted the Supreme Court's ruling upholding the results while continuing to push for electoral transparency and social justice. Beyond Kenyan politics, Raila served as the African Union High Representative for Infrastructure Development from 2018 to 2023, advocating for continental connectivity through roads, rail, and energy projects. In 2024, he announced his bid for chairperson of the African Union Commission, but the post ultimately went to Mahamudu Ali Yusuf in early 2025. Personal life. Raila is married to Ida Odinga, a respected educator and businesswoman. Together, they have 4 children, Fidel, deceased, Rosemary, Raila Jr., and Winnie Odinga. The couple's marriage has endured through decades of political turbulence and personal trials, symbolizing resilience and mutual support. Ida has often credited her husband's faith and discipline as the anchors of their family life. The Odingas reside in Karen, Nairobi, and maintain a family home in Bondo, Siaya County, where Raila enjoys farming and spending quiet moments away from politics. Despite his age, he remains physically active, frequently seen playing football and engaging with youth programs. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, share and subscribe for more videos like this.